class. This is the same topic as last week video, as actually the first two videos I made. Okay, this is inferring through the process of chromatography, but now focusing on our GT or gifted and talented students. And I thought about this extension since the last week. I was thinking of making the same experiment for our visual learners, but then I thought that this experiment was more suitable and challenging for my gifted and talented students, okay? As we know, the GT students are early finishers, and if we give them several opportunities to experiment and activities, they are always willing to have more to do. Okay, so this will be a great experiment you can do in your future classrooms. And also, if as teachers we do not provide them with these extra opportunities to experiment, they will get easily bored, and this will extinguish their desire to learn, and also we will inhibit their curiosity. And we will not be developing their full potential. So this experiment is learner directed. This means that the GT students are going to direct their own learning through constructivism by constructing their own learning. And as you can see, I'm using terms of these chapters I read. So it is also a combination of both the inquiry and also the free discovery approaches. The guided inquiry, because the teacher will be there to facilitate some steps of the process, okay? And even though the topic was mainly proposed or posed by the teacher, it will still allow them to experiment and formulate and answer their own questions. And the free discovery, because they will be leading the activity by collecting their own data, experimenting, discussing with their peers, using some of the strategies for GT learners to learn science, and making their own conclusions. Okay, so the step, after experimenting with the black inks and the different inks of different colors since the last week, now this extra activity assigned for GT learners will be about pigments in plant leaves. In this activity, they will infer about the color the plant leaves will become in the fall. Okay? And I'm sure our gifted and talented students have wondered before about why the leaves change color and what are the hidden colors in the leaves. So the first step is we're going to set up a leaf laboratory. This is important because the teacher needs to have a designated area with the required material ready for our learners to experiment in their own without disturbing other peers. Okay? The main material we need, okay, are the leaves. Okay, why the leaves are important? This is a very important part because the teacher can provide the leaves, but it will be better if the students can gather their own leaves. How? By allowing them to go outside in the green area or patio or garden from the school, or maybe assigning them to bring some leaves the next day where the lesson is going to take place. But it's important because allowing them to go outside, to have independent or group excursions, and to work in groups are some of the best strategies to work with GT students, are as our book mentions, and also because we will be developing the intelligences in our kinesthetic, our interpersonal learners, and also in our naturalistic students, because they like to go outside, to walk around, and also to discuss their ideas with their peers. Okay, so also it will be good for them to allow them to work large blocks of time with their peers. And make sure to give them a bag or container where they can gather or collect their own leaves. Okay, what we need? We need to give them or to make them, to ask them to make their own data sheet. Okay, here we will have the name of the leaves, of the plant leaves, the color, and their guesses or inferences. For example, I wrote here, I guess it will change to the following color in the fall season, and the final result. I think as GT learners, they will be able to do it on their own, but we can provide them the data tables. We also need small jars with their lids. We need the lid, we need the coffee filter with the strips, we need some scissors to cut them in small pieces, we need some hot water, this container where we are going to submerge the jars, and we need some rubbing alcohol and something to stir. Okay? So after collecting the leaves, we're going to fill out the data sheet. They will record these colors and make their inferences of what color each leaf will change to in the fall. And at the same time, we can introduce new concepts for them, such as chlorophyll, which is the pigment that gives leaves their green color, and is the main pigment. It is involved in the process of photosynthesis, which is the process in which the plants transform CO2 and water into sugar and oxygen. And this pigment plays an important role, okay, because it's the pigment that absorbs the sunlight, so this process can take place, okay. So this will play an important role in this experiment, because it will be broken down to see the different pigments inside the leaves. They can also start inferring, okay, where does the chlorophyll go? Why does the leaves change color? Why do they change into yellow, red, or orange? And once the leaves are collected, we're going to extract the color of the leaves. How? We are going to cut into small pieces our leaves and place them in different jars. A jar for each type of leaf. Then we will cover the leaves with a small amount of alcohol, rubbing alcohol. And now we're going to cover the leaves, okay? Just enough to cover them. And then we are going to let them stand for 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes, we are going to place the jars into this container and add some hot water to speed up the process. And the water will help us extract, okay, the green pigment. As you can see, it's green inside. It's absorbing the green pigment. And we're going to place some coffee filter strips in each of the jars. Okay, the filter will extract the pigment, and you can see the difference. We're going to have the green pigment on the bottom, and on the top, the yellow, red, or any other color that the leaves change into, okay? About the alcohol and the hot water. We can, as teachers, facilitate this step of the process. If you think your students are smart enough and older enough to do this procedure, you can allow them to do it, but reminding them to be careful with these substances that can harm their body, okay? So make sure you observe them, you are in front of them, making sure that they don't drink it, swallow it, or touch it, or put it in some of their areas, okay? So now, after placing the water and waiting for 30 minutes, okay, we're going to take out the strips, as I'm going to do it here. And as you can observe, the yellow pigment is on top. That means this leaf will turn into yellow in the fall, okay? And all of them were going to turn into yellow, okay? Now, we will separate, they will see how they separate, and it will show the variety of colors in the leaves. In this case, it's yellow. And in the data sheet, they will finally check the actual colors against their inferences. As a final comment, you can ask them what they concluded, what were their previous inferences, their conclusions, and we can explain them that the leaves have green color because of the chlorophyll, that leaves actually have lots of color in them, but during the warmer months, such as in the summer season, all that we can see is the green color in the leaves. When it gets colder in the winter, what happens is that the chlorophyll breaks down and moves into the lower parts of the trees. So the trees absorb the chlorophyll, and it takes all it needs from the leaves, and that is why the leaves start changing color until they loosen and then they fall off. Okay, so this was my lesson plan, focusing in my GT students. I hope you can apply it in your future classrooms, and as you can see, it encourages the development of the multiple intelligences. And also, it is a learner-directed lesson plan that incorporates the guided inquiry and the free discovery approaches. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.